This is the amazing Thorolgraffix gallery view. What's really cool about this is up at the top you can either choose to view all your photos in your camera roll or restrict it to just photos that contain faces. This makes it really easy to find photos of people quickly. Now if you tap that HDR button in the upper left, you can control the filter intensity of the Smooth Play HDR filter, which is what Thorolgraffix is famous for. We're going to go ahead and set it around 70%, but you could set it higher if you want a really extreme look. Now you can tap that camera button at the bottom to take a photo, but we're going to just pick a photo from our camera roll here. Now this is going to load the image into the second step, which is where you would select your aspect ratio and your cropping. The reason we do that is so you don't waste time masking areas of your photo that you don't really need. Now if you tap this middle button down here, it's going to give you a landscape aspect ratio, which is really great for Facebook because that's typically what they show in the timeline. If you tap portrait, you're going to get this, and you can use your fingers to zoom, pan, and rotate. We're going to use the Instagram, which is kind of a square here, and we'll scale up just a little bit, maybe rotate it just a little bit. Okay. Then you just tap this next button to go to the next step. Now, down the bottom right is where you select your brush size. So we'll tap that, and you can see I can scale that brush way up and down. I'm going to start with a pretty big brush. What's really cool about Thorolgraffix is this unique way of brushing. In a lot of these types of apps, the brush is under your thumb, and that makes it really difficult to see the edges of what you're painting. So what we do is you actually tap to set where you want the brush to be, and then you move your thumb to somewhere else on the screen and you start painting. This way you can completely see all the edges of your brush as you're painting, rather than your brush being under your thumb hidden from view. Now we're just going to go ahead and paint this really quick. We won't be quite as picky as we might be in a longer tutorial. But you can see this is pretty easy to paint through. Now it's difficult to see sometimes the edges, so we've got this cool thing down here in the bottom left that shows you your actual mask. Makes it a little easier to finish this a little faster. Obviously we're probably going to have to get a smaller brush and do a little bit closer job on this if we want it to look really nice. But this is good enough for now. Okay? I'll go ahead and get a little bit smaller brush, zoom in here, and just get the top of these sunglasses. Make this look a little bit better. Get the top of this hair here. Make that look a little bit better. And voila. Now we can switch down here at the bottom to eraser if we need to erase something, and there's also an undo button in that top left. We're going to go ahead and hit the next button to go to the next step. This is where you get to enter your text. Okay, now we've kept it simple by allowing you to just enter one line of text, but you can save this out and then import the same photo back in and add additional text if you want to. We're just going to do something here, happy. Alright, we'll pick a cool font here. Now the way this is set up right now, the text is going to be behind them. So if we were to go to the next step, you'll see the text ends up right behind their heads, which is what we want. Alright, but if you want the text to be on top, you just go back to the previous step, you tap the change text mode here, and you could also actually, that's where you could change the color of the text if you want to change the color. And you close that, and then when you go to the next step, the text is going to be on top of your image rather than behind your mask. Now we can also do this FX over here on the lower left, and that just does kind of a cool effect in the background to darken it up. And there we are. You just hit the export button and export to camera roll. Now there's one other little thing we can do here, and that's to add a gradient. I'll show you kind of an extreme example. If we'll do it here. And you'll see it'll just put in a kind of a yellowish gradient on that background. Alright, well that's it for now. I hope you guys enjoy using Thorolgraffix.